This is Total Babble. Total Babble. It's a show about music, pop culture, social media, movies, the internet, relationships, TV, whatever. Total Babble. The Total Babble Podcast.
I don't know how I want to start the show. Hi, Emily. I'm Stu.
Hi, Stu. Good to see you, as always. I was thinking about you today as I looked at my little desk toy that is a cat on top of a Roomba.
I don't like cats. Don't like Roombas. So that's a double negative combination for me.
Exactly. I was like, you know who would hate this? Stu.
There you go. I like that you think of me in the negative. There we are.
Yeah. Sometimes I find myself enjoying something and going, you know who'd fucking hate this?
Yeah.
How are you, friend?
I'm okay. We were just talking off the air. You've got a head that's infected, your ears and that kind of thing. And I have a story. And I just feel like, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Thank you, Prince, for that. There are so many things that we're just trying to deal with as we get through life. And I realized that I have another story. And one of my goals as I go through life is just to not have a story. If I could have less stories that I talk about here on the show, that would make me so much happier. So settle in. I've got a story, and I'm going to be tight and concise in this, and I'll try to get through it as quick as I can and have it be entertaining. And if not, I'll edit because that's what we do. Stepdad died years ago. It's fine. He was a murderer, literally. We've talked about that on the show. I take care of my mom. She's 79 and has some dementia, and I love her, but that can be a challenge. Sometimes it's like dealing with a child. And she came to me the other night, and she said, I got the power company to switch the bill to my name, but I need you to help me send them stuff. And what had happened was my stepdad's name was still on the electric bill. We decided we were just going to leave it. We'd talked about it, but she didn't remember that because it was just such a fiasco to deal with. Already, I know what I'm in for. I'm just exasperated because I know how this is going to go. I said, Mom, potentially they are now going to interrupt our power when they switch it over, and we're not going to have power, and I work from home, and I do shows from home, and it's 2 days away from the biggest heat wave maybe this state has ever seen, and we're not going to have air conditioning. She said, well, they said that wouldn't happen. So I get on the phone to Southern California Edison, and of course it's a concern. They need to verify that she is who she says she is before they'll set up her new account in her name. And they went to do a soft credit check on her, and that didn't work because I put a credit freeze on both of our accounts 2 years ago when it came out in the news that basically everybody in the United States got hacked. So if they don't process her new account before they do the disconnect on his account, we will have no power. It needs to be done immediately. So I get the form that she has, and I go through that with the people once I can actually get to somebody to talk to them, which is a chore in itself. And I find out that she didn't get a needed account number that she needed for the form. So I hang up with them. I get all this together, and I fill out the form, which is involved with the new account number. And I take pictures of her license and social. And then I upload them to the portal, allegedly, and then I get it all together, and I go to hit send, and I'll involve you in this story from time to time. What do you think happens when I hit send?
Time's out. Doesn't work.
Good guess. You're on the right track there. It just is stuck in upload mode. It just says uploading forever and ever and ever. And these are small files. They have to be because it can only handle 4 megabytes per file. And it just would not go through. I even left one running overnight when we got to the end of this. So now I'm like, we're fucked. Thanks. And I'm really tense, and I'm not being a dick, but I'm pissed off because I have a right to be. So I said, well, we'll just go there. There's an office like 2 blocks away. So I look it up online. It doesn't show as a payment office. I'm like, that might be an inconvenience. So it's 9 o'clock at night, and I say, get in the car, old lady. We're going for a road trip. So we get in the car and we drive there, and nope, They don't accept payments at the office. It says right on the door. It says, if you want to do this, call this number. You want to do this, call this number. They have no local office where you can walk in to provide this kind of documentation to prove who you say you are. If you want to make a payment in person, you have to go to a Walmart or a Ralph's grocery store. And there's just no way to really deal with a person. So now I'm pissed and I'm trying to figure out how we're not going to lose power. And at this point, she's upset because she knows she fucked up and she's crying. And I feel bad and I don't want her to cry. And I said, please don't cry. I just am upset because you and I agreed when things like this came up, we were going to work through them together, and you just went and did it. And we've left this for 3 years and it's been completely fine. As long as we're paying the bill, it's going to be totally fine. So I calmed her down and it's like, okay, now we have to get to sleep. Can't do anything tonight. They close at 7 p.m. I take an Ambien that night because I needed to get to sleep. I'm fired up. 7 a.m. the next morning, I get on the phone and I can't figure out how to even get to a person again. It's like their phone system is effed up and it just, no matter what, it tells you they're going to send you a link because you have to do it all online. So I walk away. Then I come back and somehow there's a person on the line when I come back to the phone from the bathroom. And she says, well, no, we can figure this out. We'll just put it in your name. I said, that's not going to work because I have a freeze on my credit account too. She said, no, it'll work. So she puts it through, involving you in the story. Do you think it works?
Of course not.
No, it doesn't work at all. So she says, I'm going to transfer you to the technical support department after I explain everything to her, and they're going to help you figure out why you can't upload anything. She said, sometimes they just take it down because it just doesn't work and they're overwhelmed. I said, well, that's convenient for somebody in my position. She said, yes, let me get you through to them. And I said, you're going to transfer me and something's going to go wrong. I know. She said, no, it'll be fine. She transfers me. And I sit there 5 to 10 minutes. A guy comes on and I get, hi, hello, can I help you? And he's a little bit garbled. And at that moment, I can tell he disconnects me. I can tell because I immediately get their survey as to how the call went. So now I'm going round and spinning and really pissed off and just livid. And what do you think I do next?
Something bad.
You're on the right track.
Yeah.
I decide I'm going to try to call back and I can't get to a person still because their phone system is weird and I don't know which way to go. While I'm doing that and while I'm trying to figure it out, I decide I'm going to go back to that building where they can't help me, but God damn it, I'm going to talk to somebody. So get in my car and I'm driving there and I get there and I see a guy coming out the door that is locked. And I said, hey, I know that you can't process payments, this and this and this. He said, I can't help you. I'm just a vendor. I said, well, there's people right there, right? So he's being kind of a dick about it. And he goes in and he gets somebody. And I explain it to the new guy that comes out. And I said, I'm just looking for somebody that can be human about this. My mom, and I go through the whole thing. And as I'm talking to him, the woman who I've been trying to get to, a supervisor, comes on the phone. And I'm talking to her while he's standing there. And he's telling me things to say. And this guy, of all the people that I dealt with, was maybe the best. He said, we can't help you. We can't do anything for you. We're just a planning center. But while I'm talking to her, he invites me in the office. So I'm standing there where I'm not supposed to be, just so I can have some peace and quiet to figure this out. So I go through all of it. And she says, okay, I'm going to make this note on the account. And I said, so what do I do? There's no place I can bring you the documents. How am I supposed to do this? I said, is there not some kind of email? She said, oh yeah, there's an email. Did they not give you the email?
No,
Mother
Betty.
fucker. I said, no, they didn't. That would have been so helpful as I'm watching uploads spin around on my screen, even overnight. So I go home. And I get it all together and I fill out the application again. And I put all the information into the email and then I put all the pictures into the email and I send it and the email goes through and I'm feeling victorious. And I'm like, oh, yes, I'm just waiting for it to come back as like not the correct address or something. It doesn't come back. And then I get an email in a couple hours that says, okay, we have approved this and we're putting it in your mom's name. This will take effect August 30th. That's going to be a problem. We're still going to be disconnected. All that should have been taken care of because I noted it in the email. We cannot have an interruption in service. And in the meantime, 3 hours later, Lorena, one of the other two helpful people in all of this process, calls me back. She's the woman I talked to with the guy. And she says, yeah, they put it in for August 30th. I'm going to adjust it for now, and it should take effect now, and you should have no interruption in service, and it should be okay. And I said, okay, but I replied to their email, and I noted that there's not going to be a problem in any of this. She said, no, it's going to take effect now. So I hope that was not too long and at least semi-entertaining, but God fucking damn it.
Wow. How infuriating.
Like, you try to do the right thing, and no matter what you do, you can't get through it. And I know so many people feel that way.
It is absolutely diabolical. Now imagine that you don't have the kind of phone that you can sit on the phone for hours with, or you imagine that you have a job where you're working outside all day and you can't sit on the phone for hours. Yep. Or, just what a nightmare. As
many frustrations as I have with my job, and there are those, I at least appreciate moments like this where I can go and deal with something, because somebody with a real job at a real store or something wouldn't be able to do it. This ought to be illegal. This is like a basic human service, a basic thing to provide for people that people need. It's not optional. So this ought to be set up better. And Southern California Edison, maybe if I'm sending you this show, maybe you should make some adjustments, because this is crap and people shouldn't be treated this way.
I thought that they changed the rules around COVID times so that they couldn't turn your power off or couldn't evict you, or especially in California, that they changed the laws or something around it.
I think you are thinking of that correctly, because the helpful guy that let me into the building said, look, they're not going to turn you off. We don't turn anybody off. He said that. But yet the people I was talking to on the phone said, no, this is a problem. And if they terminate the other account first, they're going to shut you off. So I got two different answers on that.
Mm.
So fix your stuff. And I know you've been having trouble. Your head is full of all kinds of things, and you're having your kids sniff your ears like sniffing dogs.
Like little
and that kind of
bloodhounds. Yeah.
Yeah. You have like doctor dogs that are children.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's true. One of my sons has an amazing sense of smell. He should be one of those, what do they call those, perfumers or whatever? He can smell things.
He could be a kid at an airport. They put him on a harness and then walk him around, and he could sniff people.
Could sniff people, yeah. No, but he was able to smell that one
you
of my ears.
You have ear infections, and he was able to smell it in your head.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. So other than that, you've just been not feeling great and getting through life and looking more like Brie Larson every day.
I don't know what it is, but I think since leaving my job, I think that my body is like recalibrating or something. Like I've spent my whole life running from a bed, you know what I mean? Like really big jobs, always under enormous pressure and stress. And then I think that as I'm recalibrating, my body is just going.
I think it's that your body kept it together for so long because you had so much going on, and you were in the mode of, I can't get sick. And I know that's the case, at least a little bit, because you kind of said that. But I think now that you have the ability to wind down, it's like, okay, go ahead and be broken and we can heal ourselves maybe. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I think that is probably what it is too. And it's funny because my dad said to me that he said, this is probably what's going to happen. He's like, don't be surprised if this happens to you. And then I got like 2 weeks into it thinking, this is going great. Everything's awesome. But it was not awesome.
Yeah. So stuff that's happening this week, I was going through our Blue Sky. We're on the Blue Sky with the Total Babble. We have a phone number. It is 818-570-0753 if you ever want to participate in the show. This is a dude that has so many huge balls that I can't even begin to tell you about it, but I have audio of him, and it's almost dangerous. Elli is a guy with huge ones that is going after ICE. He's in D.C., and Elli is maybe doing too much. He's a Jewish activist in his early 20s, I'm guessing, and he's walking around Washington, D.C., just harassing ICE agents and just going after them. This is not just him following one group of people around. This is edits of multiple people as he does this.
Look at all these fucking Nazis over here. They got their fucking faces covered like a bunch of goddamn pussies. Look at this shit. You gotta know, you're performing a federal function. People deserve to know who's arresting them. Is it because you want to disappear people that you don't like immigrants? Guess what they did in 1939 to my people? It's killed 6 million of them, like people look just like you. Look at this shit. They locked my people up too, killed 6 million of them, look just like this. Just like this. This is how it starts. They're walking around in unmarked vehicles, driving people off the street. And your colleagues just said they love the fucking Proud Boys. They said they love the Proud Boys. They got it all on video. Your colleagues, do you agree with them? Do you want to kill Jews too? Do you want to disappear people of color? Get them off the street? It's all over the place. Guess what? Guess what? You're going to see us in the streets every fucking day. You're going to be so fucking tired of us. We're not going anywhere, you little bitch. This other one over here, he looks just like the Nazis in Germany. Looks just like the neo-Nazis. Look at this. We got ICE over here. You should be fucking ashamed to be doing the job that you're doing. If you think any of you guys are safe, you're wrong. Look at these little Nazi-ass bitches. This is ICE right here. They're rounding up random people who are just trying to make a living. They did the same thing to my people. They did the same thing to my people. In the 1930s, they're pulling people into unmarked cars. That's right. That's right. Get in your little Nazi-ass car.
So that's Elli, and I just saw that, heard that, and went, wow, awesome for you. Please be careful.
Goodness. Elli or Eli?
It's Elli, actually. Yeah. Elli. And I just, so much admiration for that guy, but I'm like, wow, I can't imagine this is going to last long. And I just say, be careful. And like I said, where I've gotten pissed because people can't be bothered to get off the couch and go and do something about what's going on. He is doing way more than that. And I actually messaged him and we went back and forth a little bit and I wanted to get him on the show and he was up for it. And then he found out that it would probably require him getting in front of a computer because doing it over the phone would be tough. And that's when I lost track of him. So younger generation, maybe being flaky, I don't know, but still admiration to that guy. So
Well, good job, Elli. Doing God's work out there. There is something so wrong with the world that we're living in right now. One of my friends shared a story on the Book of Feces earlier today. It's a story that was published in the New York Times about this new Arkansas community. And I shit you not, it actually, the words taste disgusting coming out of my mouth, but the community, they are saying, is strictly for white, heterosexual people.
Way to be the stereotype, Arkansas. Jesus.
Yeah. And applicants are being screened with an in-person interview, a criminal background check, a questionnaire about their ancestral heritage, and even having photos of their relatives requested. And they have 2 architects, a classically trained French horn player who has live streamed his own sex videos, and a former jazz pianist who was arrested but not charged for attempted murder in Ecuador. They say that the 2 of them must personally confirm that applicants are white before they can be welcomed in. What the actual fuck? This is absolutely insane. And even though housing rights experts are saying that it's illegal, these 2 dickwads feel like there's an opening in the Trump era. They're like, this is fine. We can totally get away with this now.
And they have a point. They have a point because there are laws that are in place. And yes, it's illegal, but that doesn't mean anything nowadays. You can just ignore the laws if you're doing Trump's work.
It is just so insane. And there's, no matter how disgusting it is, some of my friends are saying, well, at least they're not hiding that they're racist. At least I know who the racists are. At least they're being open about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Doesn't really help, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't really help because they're still able to get away with it.
It is just so abhorrent.
And just to be clear, this is like a community that they are setting up something with an HOA for their special people to live in, almost like a subsect of a city, essentially.
Yeah, some kind of housing development. I don't have a lot of money, but $50 says that between 10 and 20 years from now, there's going to be some kind of Netflix documentary on like crazy sex abuse, some sort of cult, some sort of weird incest bullshit coming out of whatever this development is. There's going to be some weird, sinister shit happening inside that weird-ass development. I can almost guarantee it.
And speaking of history, when we look back on this time in history, this is going to seem as big and huge as things were in 1776 when we established this country and how we've had to fight just for what is right in this country. It's that much of a thing, and it's that huge. Like the other day, I heard a story that now Trump is going after museums because they are portraying slavery as being too bad. They're putting too much negative focus on slavery, so he's going after those kind of people. And here locally in Southern California, I forget the city, but there was a high school kid, a citizen of this country, that was out walking his dog, and he's brown and he looked like somebody else, and they picked him up and took him into custody, and now he is in detention for however many days. And that ought to be illegal. It is illegal based on the Constitution, illegal search and seizure, but they haven't let him out yet. And it's just the fact that they can do whatever at their whim. And man, until people get really pissed off and fight back, however that may be politically or in the streets, this is going to keep happening. And you see little bits of it here and there that at least some people are starting to get some balls. He's really starting to just posture to run for president, but our Gavin Newsom is doing stuff finally, and there's people fighting back where they can. But man, we all need to. If everybody got fucking pissed off and did something about this, it wouldn't be an issue anymore, because we really are the majority. Even people that were leaning right are starting to see what's going on, and I really believe that. It's just, can the majority take the country back at this point?
I mean, we live in hope. Have you heard about the PragerU controversy with the Christopher Columbus bullshit?
I think that's based on having a holiday named after him. Is that what you're talking about?
No, what I'm talking about is there is essentially a children's propaganda video made by Prager University that has Christopher Columbus talking about how slavery is no big deal. And I just sent you a text with a link to sort of a 22-second clip of it. But Trump has just put these people in charge of PBS. And there is a line, and I'm paraphrasing, but I think the line is, being made a slave is better than being killed, right?
Now, is this Dennis Prager? Is that who we're talking about? Do you know? Because I know his name.
It's the university.
Because I think he has his own like political, little library of talking points that he's had. Either way, I think I can play this. I have it in messages here.
Hopefully that's the right one.
I can play it, but then I have to unmute it on stupid Instagram.
World, even amongst the people I just left. Being taken as a slave is better than being killed, no? Before you judge, you must ask yourself, what did the culture and society of the time treat as no big deal?
Wow. Yeah, so it just, why worry about it? Looking back at the past, we know that it was not a big deal then, so why worry about it now and the fact that it was wrong, and just be happy to be treated well as a slave. That's what you should do.
It's absolutely gobsmacking. And it is so sinister that it's surreal. I actually found out about this because my eldest son told me about it because he was so horrified. And it's just horrific. But yes, during the audit of all of the museums, the administration started by changing how he was depicted and how presidents were depicted and removing any reference to his impeachments. And now he's taking aim at the depictions of slavery and the way that the past of this country is portrayed in museums.
Yeah, you better be sure that your university meets the Donald Trump idealism. Otherwise, your funding is going to be cut off and you're going to have no money to operate. And I forget what, it was Harvard that paid his bounty. He demanded so many millions of dollars and they gave it to him. And you should never give in to that. Have some fucking balls and fight, people. God damn it.
It's absolutely bonkers.
Well, I have said so many times that, boy, this seems like an angry show, but what else are you going to do? Because I have this next thing I'm looking at, and I realize this too. This is kind of fun, angry, at least. Let me close out that iMessage. Okay, there we go. So you ever get those door-to-door people that are knocking for religious things or solar this or energy program that? Do you get those people where you live?
I do, and man, have I got an amazing story for you after I hear yours.
All right. Well, we'll see. Maybe you went the same direction this woman did.
Let's see.
Okay. So I think were doing some kind of energy program thing, and they knocked on her door, and this is her response. I guess she's on her Ring camera, and she told them this.
No, can I help you?
So we're the guys in the area just following up with the notice so that you guys get on the Edison.
I'm so not interested. Thank you so much for
No
calling.
worries. Just make sure you keep the notice.
Okay, so she said, I'm so not interested. A little bit abrupt, but still she has that right. It's her home. I feel like she has made it clear she's not interested. So they walked away. You can see him walk away on the video. And then I guess they discussed it and they felt like maybe she didn't get the message. So they came back and they rang her door again. And I'll tell you that I think I may have found the future Mrs. Stewart. Here is her reaction when they rang her door again.
Get the fuck off my porch right now. How dare you knock on this fucking door again?
What?
You ignorant fucking asshole. Get off my property right now.
Cool.
Get off my property right now.
Yeah, no,
you
man.
ignorant fucking fat piece of shit. Get the fuck off my porch right now. Leave.
So I guess she was a little bit upset. She went with that. And as much as I say, wow, I get pissed off, I wouldn't get that pissed off. I understand where she's coming from. No means no when you're on my goddamn porch or anytime. I've declared to you how I would like this to go. You are not respecting that. So get the fuck off my property.
Right. And I think as a woman who's at home, a certain part of me goes, I'm here for it. Because if they think that you're home alone by yourself, people take liberties. Now, this happened in my house, but not to me. When I was working full-time and my husband traveled a lot.
You came
my
out of the
kids-
shower and your parts were in the front of your maid's face. Was that it?
No, this is a different
I thought
story.
it was going to be that story. God damn it. Okay.
My sons had a nanny and she continued to help us. And so she was over helping out one day and the doorbell rang and it was someone doing like, I don't know what it was, trying to sell some shit. She opened the door, politely declined, closed the door, came back inside. Important context for this is she is a 24-year-old woman who is currently heavily pregnant. She is engaged to be married. She answered the door. She was there by herself. Not but, 5 minutes goes by and the guy comes back and ding-dongs on the doorbell again. And what do you think he did?
No idea. I can't even begin to wager a guess.
He proceeds to ask her out.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Now, the Ring doorbell actually cut out. So we didn't get to record it. So I don't actually have it for the show. It cuts out after he goes because my husband and I ran to the recording like it was water in the desert. As soon as she told us what had happened, I was like, oh, shut the fuck up. And so we ran there. Anyway, we didn't get it. But all we got was he's like, this is a little bit awkward, but are you single? And so this is what she told me. He said, are you single? Because, I would really like to take you out. And she's like, sir, no. And I was like, that's just so, it was really creepy that he did it, that he went away and that he came back.
Yeah.
And he's like an older guy and he's hitting on a heavily pregnant young girl who he thinks is home by herself.
Yeah, because odds are against the fact that she's single just by virtue of her being pregnant. And I understand women are independent and they do their own thing, but that only allots for a certain amount of that skewed percentage that is very small. And that's the wrong shot to take, dude. And if you're committed to taking that shot, there's something off with you.
Right. It was just very, very weird. Now, granted, this particular woman is an incredibly beautiful woman. And so it's not like I'm surprised. Like, she gets stopped on the street and asked out by people like all the time. And so it's not unusual for that to happen. But what is unusual, and I think it's actually really rude, and I think it opens up another conversation, right, is why you shouldn't hit on people like servers, for example. Like, if you're a patron, you shouldn't hit on the wait staff at a restaurant, like someone who is trapped somewhere. You shouldn't go to somebody's door and hit on them in their sanctuary. Like, it's a real violation of something. Like, you shouldn't hit on somebody at a place where they like have to be, where they can't leave, or a place that is supposed to be their safe place. I don't know. It feels like it's a real crossing of a boundary, and I can't quite articulate it, but I was so uneasy about it. It just felt so wrong.
Shitty douche dude thing that goes around that guys have said that I have heard that, well, if you talk to the cashier or the waitress, it's okay. And you can kind of say whatever you want because they have to talk to you. It's like, oh, you're holding somebody hostage and you're kind of a dick. Not kind of, you're a dick if you're really relying on that and you're not giving up and you're being assertive when they don't want you to be assertive and you won't let it go. Just fuck off.
Yeah, just fuck off. I heard something, and I don't know if this is true.
And by the way, it kind of bums me out that you already did the thing where you said she was attractive, because I was going to ask you if she was hot and if you'd set me up. So, God damn it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I guess she's taken. Lucky guy.
Very, very taken. And
listen, sweetie, if it doesn't work out, here's my number. You give me a call.
Yuck. Well, yeah.
But guys that do this are often successful. This is what I have noticed. And I would never do that. And I think it's gross, but I'm also sitting here single. So.
I don't know what was going on in that guy's head, but whatever it was, it's the wrong thing. Anybody who's listening, if you've ever thought about doing that, don't do it.
Right.
It's so fucking weird. And like super creepy as well, because then she has to worry about like going out to her car that afternoon. Then we've got to worry, okay, is this guy going to follow her or something? Because it's just such a strange thing to do.
And it's been taught for so many years that persistence is key and you just keep trying. And really, as we go through so many parts of today's show, no means no. We can agree to that. If somebody says no in today's world, just go with no and move on, and things will be better in the world for it.
It would be better in the world. And I feel like you should be able to be polite and kind and nice. So this particular lady, she's very sweet and she's very nice and she's polite. No, thank you. We're not interested. But for some reason, he's taken her being polite and kind as some sort of open invitation to come and ask her out. And that in some way she's given him some kind of flirtatious sort of message. And I've heard it said that, and I don't know how true this is, but that guys think that women are flirting with them if they're just being nice, because they wouldn't be nice to someone unless they were attracted to them.
I can kind of relate to that, and I can see that. And there is a point as a dude where you go, okay, she's being nice. She smiled. Maybe that's a thing. And we do take it that way, to be honest. But the key is if you investigate that and find out it's not true, then you back off. Some guys don't do that. You can't be nice to us is what I'm telling you.
So many bad situations in my life are now really starting to feel like my fault. Because I am so nice to everyone. Like, I make eye contact with people. I'm very kind to everyone. I really make a point to just be nice to everyone. I treat everybody as well as I would treat anybody, really. I'm starting to see why people get the wrong idea.
Well, and that is just how men interpret things and the way that nature is set up. As much as guys can be complete assholes, nature is set up that men pursue women, and that's the way things work. And even with equality, I don't think that's going to change, because I think it's just inherent and it is nature, and that's the way things are going to work always.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because
Probably
even
right.
if just down to the base thing, men need it more than women, and men have to look for that more than women because it's more of an urge with men and we're constantly pursuing it. Whereas women, I believe, and you can disagree with this, have more of an emotional connection to being with the guy and more of a nesting and wholesome and loving ideal of the thing than guys do.
I think that is potentially true. However, scientifically, it has been proven that men need to be in a relationship more than women do. And in fact, single men do not live as long and are not as healthy as their married counterparts, where the opposite is true of single women. Women who are married with children are more miserable and die earlier and are more unhealthy than women who don't get married and stay single.
But is that due to stress level? Is it that way because then that guy is not in a relationship and is in the pursuit of getting some and is stressed out about that? And women are now having to deal with the stresses of being married and deal with the family and the kids and all that, and they're stressed out about that. Could that be the psychoanalyzing of what that study is?
Maybe. I know that one of the contributing factors that they pointed to around the men's health outcomes is that men who are married or coupled up in a long-term partnership have better health outcomes because their partner makes the medical appointments for them.
I was just going to suggest that. Yeah, maybe because they have that woman looking out for them. That makes sense.
Exactly, because they are taken care of
Right.
by their partner. And that is why they have better health outcomes. Interesting, right?
As usual, we've got it all figured out. We just know what's up.
We got it all figured out. Come here for your science,
God
people.
damn it, we're the best. Look at us.
I mean, if I wasn't in so much pain, I'd pat myself on the back.
There you go. Here's a question that I'm sure you know the answer to. What is the exact time it takes you to pee?
Oh, it really depends on how much fluid I've taken in and how much salt I've consumed. But what about you?
The thing. I did my own study, and I'll tell you at the end of my own study here. There's a new study. I got this from Lad Bible online. Scientists have revealed the 21-second rule. The amount of time it takes you to relieve yourself may be linked to your overall health. Any mammal weighing over 3 kilograms, which I think is what, like 600 pounds? 3 kilograms?
It's about 6 pounds, but
Okay.
yeah, close.
Any mammal over 3 kilograms should need an average of 21 seconds to finish peeing. Scientists watched clips of various mammals emptying their bladder in order to gain understanding on about how long an animal typically takes to pee. And they say that that works because differences in sizes, the other parts also are adjusted in like, so that makes sense. If a person spends longer than 21 seconds peeing, then it should be a sign that they're holding in urine for too long, leading to the bladder expanding, which is not good. Also, holding in pee can lead to a number of unwanted conditions, such as UTIs or kidney issues, which is why you shouldn't hold it in. So the next time you go to the bathroom, take a stopwatch with you.
I will. This is fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear an Australian colloquialism for I've really got to pee?
More than anything.
My back teeth are floating.
I've heard that, and I didn't know it came from you Aussie people. That's pretty good.
Gross, isn't it?
Back teeth are floating.
Yeah, my back teeth are floating. 21 seconds. I can see that.
And I was thinking that you should make it a fun game with your kids. When your kids are going to the bathroom, you follow them, they close the door. You can stand outside the bathroom door with a stopwatch and you go, are you pooping or peeing? And if they go peeing, you go, okay, let me know when you start. And they'll tell you, and you can double check your kids. Make sure your kids are healthy. Do the same with your husband, perhaps, but maybe you're in the same room. I don't know how it works.
Wow. I have been wondering what they will talk about when they get to needing therapy, but I won't have to guess if I just do that.
Well, you're just doing the right thing. You're just looking out for them.
Yeah. We've had to start deodorant in our house. The schools have started sending around personal hygiene emails. Now, my kids are obsessed with personal hygiene, so It's not a big issue for them, but they have said that some of their friends are a little bit ripe after recess. And
That'll
so
happen.
there are lots of emails coming around from the school saying, please wear clean clothes every day. Please wash sweatshirts. Please wear deodorant. Make sure that you shower every day, because tweens and teens, 'tis the time for puberty and the time for pong. So lots of stinky kids out there.
Pong, like table tennis pong?
No,
You get sweaty playing table tennis, and that's, or is
No,
this
just
a
like
slang?
pong, like pewee, like stink.
Ah, okay. This is another
Yeah.
thing that comes
Yes,
out of your
another.
mouth that I don't know about. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, the pee thing. And then I think also if you're out in public, you could stand outside the public bathroom with a stopwatch and say, hey, do you want me to spot you? And then you could help people time their pee as they go in the public bathroom.
Oh my God.
Could be a thing.
Story time.
And just so I can close out this bit, I also
please.
checked myself the other day. I timed myself. How do you think I came in?
I reckon you're averaging between 18 and 23 seconds.
I was like 4 minutes.
You should get your prostate
Yes, yeah,
checked.
maybe. I'm full of shit. I just said that for the bit. Okay, what were you going to say now?
I'm so distracted by the 4 minutes. I was like, what?
I do like to sit there, though. When I go in the middle of the night because it's dark and I don't want to spray everywhere, I do sit down on the toilet.
Smart.
It feels like a good angle, like it really helps you empty the bladder, but there are dudes that are freaked out by it and I can't pee sitting down. I think peeing sitting down is a better way to go from what I can feel.
It's a genius move. And yeah, it's a genius move. Definitely do it in the middle of the night. It's just safer,
Yeah.
more relaxing, cleaner, tidier, smarter.
We've just done a marketing meeting right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you were headed a direction there, and what was that?
I was, and now I was rethinking it, but now we've circled back, so I'm going to have to do it. So when I was younger and sort of coming up in the world, there was a guy with a kink of getting peed on.
Oh, golden shower. Yeah.
But what he used to do is go and lay down in the urinals in like nightclubs, and they would call him Trough Man.
Yeah.
And he'd go into clubs and lay down so that people would piss on him.
There's guys that are into getting vomited on during sex, and I can't even make that work in my head. Like some of the stuff that you see, you can go, okay, I get where that kink came from. Maybe if you try to stretch it out, I can't understand where that came from.
I can't understand where that came from. But I saw another one recently in New York City that I thought was just batshit insane. But again, hardly anything surprises me anymore. There's two guys and they're carpet guys. They might be girls, who knows? But they roll themselves up in carpets and lay across a sidewalk because their kink is getting walked on. And so they'll go and they'll lay out on the sidewalk, just New York City morning rush, so that they can get walked on. And there are people filming, and people are either stepping over them or people are like, sure, I'll be a part of your kink. And they like step on the guy and just like keep going. It's so weird.
Well, yeah, but that's hot.
I mean, it would be in the middle of fucking summer in New York City being wrapped up in a carpet.
Okay, now I have to ask, is it men and women doing this or just guys?
I've only known of men doing it.
Are they jacking off while they're doing this? Because you would think if they're turned on, then okay.
No, I don't think
Just
so.
thinking of the way men work and got to get the carpet cleaned.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I think it's quite restrictive, but yeah, I think they're probably banking it for later.
Yeah, rush home. Oh my God, I just got stepped on, rolled up in a carpet. That's hot.
I imagine that they'd need to rehydrate because, gosh, I could only imagine how hot it would be.
Maybe
in
that's
there.
part of it. They get home and they're all sweaty. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Where's that guy who likes to be vomited on? I'm ready. It's so, I don't know where people get this weird stuff from.
Because you think you want to be open-minded, but even trying to be open-minded, it just makes no sense.
Right. And I don't want to shame anybody, but it's still weird. Can we all just agree? It's weird.
Yeah, it is. It's strange. The vomit thing and the carpet thing are weird.
I
can commit to that.
Yeah, odd.
So I saw a thing on Netflix I thought I would recommend to everybody. It's pretty cool and interesting. It's called Pepsi, Where's My Jet? It's a documentary, and it's about what happened in the 80s, and Pepsi had an ad campaign, and it was a campaign where they had Pepsi points, and you would redeem the points that you got in packages of Pepsi for like t-shirts and hats. And they also jokingly made a promise in a spot, and that was a problem. And I have the trailer here for this thing on Netflix. It's called Pepsi, Where's My Jet? And I'll play this and know that as the trailer opens, there's a little bit of visual. It's a giant Harrier jet landing on like a college campus and a kid getting out. And you'll kind of get the direction of the way this goes from the trailer.
Now, the more Pepsi you drink, the more great stuff you're going to get.
Play that again?
No fine print came up. I don't care what anybody else says. That is a legit offer.
In the 90s, Pepsi was famous for the advertising.
It was a cool club to be in.
Different world then, different John. This commercial comes on. Harrier Jet, 7 million Pepsi points. I really saw this as an opportunity to change my world. I'm like, I want the jet.
So it's this kid that decides he's going to get the jet that Pepsi put in this commercial, and Pepsi put up no disclaimer saying that it was a joke, and it's his story.
My mind couldn't stop racing to try to figure out how to make this happen.
We just couldn't drink that much Pepsi.
I need to buy 1.4 million 12-packs. I knew there was one person that I could potentially get to bite on this.
And then he pitched this idea. It's crazy. It's insane.
6 warehouses, somewhere in the neighborhood of 45 people. It would cost $4.3 million. But I'm reading the fine print.
We found a loophole. Here we go.
Bring on Pepsi.
Hey, somebody sent us a check for $700,000 for the Harrier jet.
What?
7 million points, Harrier jet. You saw it.
It's clearly a joke.
This was a money grab opportunity.
And then they changed the ad.
We're just kidding here.
A big corporation knows how to game the system. I'd use different language if I weren't on camera.
You're on Netflix, so you can use whatever language you want.
Fuck them.
Pepsi went on the offense.
It was in no way an admission that we had done anything wrong. It was an admission of guilt.
That was above my pay grade.
Legal will kill anything.
It was something right out of Tom Clancy's story.
I'm not going to prison over a damn jet.
We need to shake things up a little bit.
Plot twist.
Michael Avenatti. You can read all about him. Just Google his name.
This is when things really started to get crazy.
They never figured that there ever would be a John Lennon.
What do I have to lose?
You wanted that jet.
I want the jet.
Johnny wants the jet.
So it's basically a 4-part documentary. They're like a half hour, 40 minutes each maybe, on this guy trying to get the jet. And he figures out how to do it because they would buy a certain amount of points. You could buy them for like 10 cents on the dollar or something. And they figured all that out, and Pepsi not wanting to do it because that's millions and millions of dollars. And Cindy Crawford is in it. And because she was the Pepsi girl at that point, they interview her. And it's really interesting and just really kind of inspiring the way that they decided they were going to poke the bear and not take no for an answer. And the guy wanted the jet, but still they were effing with people because they had the right to and because there's no disclaimer there. And 3 out of the 4 episodes are great. The last episode, there's a little bit of a pacing thing and it doesn't wrap up the way you want it to necessarily, but it's all very interesting. And I watched all of it in one sitting and just thought I'd mention it to everybody. You worked in marketing. You ever do that kind of thing?
No.
No.
Have given away some really big ticket prizes though in sweepstakes before, but
So
when you
you're
do
aware
that,
of all the legal stuff.
oh yes, I mean you need to, in this particular country, you need to register in every different state. There is so many rules and laws. It's such a specialized field that there are companies who specialize in it, and you would usually engage the services of one of those specialist companies to undertake such an endeavor.
That makes sense that there would be specialized countries because I know when I worked in broadcasting, they said that you have to watch out for things being a lottery. There's 3 elements that make it a lottery. There's chance, there is the fact that you would have to pay for something, and then there's one other factor. If you have those 3, it is a lottery, and you can't do that legally.
Exactly. And the other one is a game of skill.
Right. That's it.
And so that you can run by yourself. But if it's not that, if it's a sweepstakes or a lottery or something, it's highly regulated.
Yeah. And it's just so interesting that they talk about how they needed something because of the cola wars and they were going to have to take down Coca-Cola, and they came up with this and it was the greatest thing ever. And then they screwed that up and didn't put it in the ad with a just kidding or anything like that, because they show the commercial and there's just nothing. It just says Harrier jet, 7 million points. And you could say, I believe that's real, even if you know it's not real. So
Quick check on that, though. How are those cola wars going?
It's all just terrible shit that you shouldn't put in your body, as far as I'm concerned.
It's so bad. Honestly, I do think that Coca-Cola is winning it, though.
Yeah, most people say that Pepsi tastes like crap to them, and of the two, they would go with that. I don't drink any of it. I drink water, and that's it. Really, thinking about it, I only drink water.
And ice water.
I had a vodka the other night because I said, I haven't had a drink in months. I'm going to celebrate and loosen up, and here we go. And I didn't even get a good, happy buzz. I just felt like such crap. And I said, okay, this is justification that even though I don't have a problem, I don't need to do this. I don't like how it makes me feel. Yuck.
Yeah, I think I have reached the point of planned obsolescence and just old as fuck, whatever that means, sleep wrong, get a crick in the neck. I went to a friend's house for dinner and someone put a glass of wine in my hand. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to drink this. I haven't had anything to drink for months. So I drank what was a relatively modest glass of rosé, like the suburban housewife I am. I will have you know, though, it was after 5, not 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I felt so sick. That night, I felt just very unwell. I had 1 glass of wine.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Just like, ew.
Oh, ew. I've soft. My drinking fitness is not what it used to be, but yes, I felt so rough. Ugh. Didn't even wait till the next day.
The stereotype of you people growing up where you grew up, did you, when you were young, just go out and unleash and just booze it up hardcore and...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I look back on how I used to drink, and I would probably say right up until I got married. I mean, I didn't drink very much on my actual wedding day, but we used to go out multiple times a week and consume a lot of alcohol. My husband in particular is like a competitive drinker. It's almost like he's got hollow legs. He can just drink beer like it's water. I can't, and so I'm not going to try to, but still I could drink a lot of alcohol because I had for a really long time, but not anymore. I can't even have one. It just doesn't agree with me anymore.
I don't know how we lived that way, because every night with me, it was go home and have a couple to a few drinks. And after a while, obviously it didn't affect you as much, but you went on living your life feeling fine the next day and able to cope. And I don't know how we lived that way. I guess it is just getting older. I
think it is just getting older. Maybe the liver's slowing down. I am refreshed, though, by the youth of today, okay? I know that a lot of the times we're like, oh, young people, and we bash on the Gen Z and the millennials a little bit, but I think they've got the right attitude towards health. Most of the young college-age kids that I meet and high school kids, they do not drink, they do not smoke, and they do not take drugs.
Even the weed? Because I would say they're taking more weed and that's how they're offsetting it, and that's why they don't do the other stuff.
Maybe where you are,
yeah,
but not here.
Huh.
And in fact, I read a report recently that said that marijuana consumption is down at an all-time low. Now, I think people probably eat it more than they ever have before versus smoking it. But the potency of the strains, it's not what we had at Woodstock.
Right.
It's so crazy now.
And just to check, were you at Woodstock?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because you look younger.
Yeah, I'm not a vampire. But, it's freaking people out. It's breaking people's brains. But kids are seeing people die of fentanyl overdoses at their schools now. And they will not drink. They will not smoke. They will not vape. Nope, just not into it. They don't think it's cool.
And here's the part where I piss off people that are into weed. I have never seen a person that uses it a lot like I used to drink and isn't a burnout and doesn't have memory issues and couldn't be bettered by backing off or quitting it and having a better time in life and having more energy. Usually they're very burnt out and you can hear it in them. And that's my judgment, but I think it's accurate.
I know a lot of people who I've seen with so much potential, smart, athletic, so much potential, who get on the bongs and then lose all of their motivation, smoke too much, can't get up to go to work, and then get caught in this cycle of being lazy, eating Doritos, and playing video games.
When I was 18, I had a friend that was the most brilliant guitar player I've ever seen in my life. Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, that kind of player, but could play any of their stuff. All of his own stuff was more amazing than any of that. And we moved up to LA and he got a habitual pot habit and smoked some crack and never stopped smoking pot. And as far as I know, had lots of trouble in life because of that. And we'd split up as friends for a while. And I know he plays in cover bands now, but I don't think he ever had any real success. And maybe that's not due to the drug use, but I would sure guess it is because he sure had everything going for him.
Oh, that's such a shame to hear it. And every time, I know this is so silly, but I have these little mental quirks, I guess. You know how I think you and I both do this, which is every time we hear something, there's like a song lyric that goes with it.
Yeah.
Every time somebody talks about marijuana, guess what I think about?
What's the marijuana song? I don't know.
No, it's not a marijuana song. It's the fact that Michael Phelps got caught ripping bongs. And I just think that is the most hilarious thing ever. And I heard the best thing ever. Some kid got caught by their parents smoking pot. And the dad said to the kid, hey, we're not doing that. You can't smoke pot. No successful person smokes pot. And the kid goes, Michael Phelps smokes pot. And he goes, yeah, you win 8 gold medals and you can fucking smoke pot too.
That'll be your reward. Welcome to
That'll
it.
be your reward.
Yeah. I think you brought him up once before, and then I got it confused with him and the bike riding guy, and I still don't know which way that goes because sports.
Exactly. You thought I was talking about Lance Armstrong.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was exactly the same scenario. Because
Sheryl Crow was in there somewhere. I don't know. Maybe she dated both of them. I don't know.
If it makes you happy, yeah.
It can't be that bad. All right. Well, there's a perfect time to end the show. Thank you for your existence and fun this week.
And you.
Everybody have a great one. Be victorious and rebellious.
Yep.
Wow. I just came up with that and pretty proud of myself, actually.
I
said,
liked
what am
it.
I going to say? And I came up with that. And it wasn't actually terrible. Thanks, me.
Yeah. Embrace rebellion. I liked it.
There we go. All right. Bye.
Okay, you know how this goes. Like us, subscribe, tell your friends, write a nice review, engage with us. We're Total Babble on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, and on Blue Sky. Email is show@totalbabble.com. The Total Babble Podcast.
Go. All right. Bye.